America's trucking industry is the beating heart of our economy, hauling more than 70% of all freight across the nation. But right now, it's at a turning point. New federal rules are reshaping how drivers work. Tariffs are shaking up the cost of trucks, and the economy is shifting under our wheels. In the next 6 minutes, we'll break down the biggest changes you need to know, and what the future of trucking could look like in the years to come. Let's start with the biggest headlines shaking the trucking world. First, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration has rolled out stricter English proficiency requirements for commercial drivers. Truckers must now prove they can read road signs and communicate clearly with law enforcement. States that fail to enforce the rule could lose millions in federal funds. California alone risks over $40 million. Since June, more than 6,000 drivers have been sidelined for not meeting the new standard. Carriers must now double-check language training and certification before putting drivers on the road. Next, the State Department has paused employment visas for commercial drivers, tightening the labor pool and putting pressure on carriers that rely on immigrant labor. Combined, these moves could intensify the ongoing driver shortage. Meanwhile, trade policy is adding fuel to the fire. Starting November 1, 2025, a new 25% tariff on heavy-duty trucks and engines takes effect, part of a push to boost U.S. manufacturing. But it also means higher costs for fleets and potentially delayed truck purchases. And that's not all. The EPA's new emission standards for heavy-duty trucks, covering model years 2027 through 2032, aim to cut 1 billion tons of greenhouse gases. Fleets must now plan for cleaner technology, including electric and hydrogen trucks, or risk falling behind. So how is the trucking industry weathering these changes? The short answer, cautiously. Freight demand remains soft as the economy cools. The U.S. grew at a 3.3% annual rate last quarter, but private domestic spending rose just 1.3%, the slowest in over 2 years. Spot truckload rates are inching up about 2% year over year, and overcapacity continues to weigh on the market. Manufacturers are also feeling the slowdown. Volvo Group recently warned of continued North American weakness into 2026, pointing to a freight slump and tariff-driven cost pressures. Fleet orders are down, and carriers are delaying new purchases as high interest rates and economic uncertainty take their toll. At the same time, fuel costs and inflation remain stubbornly high, squeezing margins for small carriers and owner-operators. Many fleets are running older trucks longer, balancing rising maintenance costs against the steep price of new equipment. And while e-commerce and consumer goods continue to drive freight, slowing global trade and changing inventory strategies mean less urgent freight demand, especially for long-haul carriers. So what does the road ahead look like for trucking? Forecasts suggest freight volumes will grow modestly, about 1.6% in 2025, with gradual acceleration into the 2030s. Trucks will remain essential to the U.S. supply chain, but growth will be steady rather than spectacular. Technology is set to play a massive role. Companies like Aurora Innovation are already deploying autonomous trucks on routes between Dallas and Houston, signaling a future where driverless freight is reality. Electric and hydrogen trucks are also gaining ground, though charging infrastructure and high upfront costs are still major hurdles. Regulatory pressure will accelerate these changes. Fleets that adopt cleaner, smarter technologies early could see long-term savings and competitive advantages. Others may struggle under rising costs and compliance challenges. Business models will evolve too. Expect more emphasis on platooning, driver assist systems, route optimization, and supply chain visibility tools. Logistics companies will seek every edge to stay efficient and profitable. And trade policy will continue shaping the landscape. If tariffs escalate or global trade slows, freight patterns could shift dramatically, affecting everything from import-export volumes to manufacturing output. For carriers and fleet owners, adaptation is no longer optional. It's survival. Compliance is key. Make sure all drivers meet language and licensing requirements or risk fines and funding cuts. Plan your fleet strategy. Decide whether to extend the life of existing trucks or invest early in cleaner, more efficient models. Embrace technology. From telematics to route optimization, Tech can help offset rising costs and improve profit margins. For shippers, expect more volatility in both spot and contract rates as carriers adapt to a changing market. Choose partners carefully. Those investing in compliance and innovation may deliver more reliable service. And for policymakers and investors, infrastructure investment, especially EV charging networks and autonomous corridors, will be critical to unlocking the industry's next chapter. The future of trucking won't be about doing things the same way. It will be about who adapts fastest and smartest. The U.S. trucking industry is navigating a historic crossroads. Regulation, technology, and economic forces are reshaping how goods move and how America runs. The road ahead may be uncertain, but one thing is clear: trucking will continue to power the nation's economy. The companies that innovate, adapt, and invest today will lead the road tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more updates on trucking, logistics, and the future of freight.